And a spiritual gift, you need to know, is a special supernatural ability that God has given to each of his children so that together, all of his children, together, they can advance the purposes of God in this world. How are we to do it? We're to do it together. Everyone say, together. Together. No individuals plan. It's together. The shape class is a tool towards helping you evaluate your gift. Romans 12:3, how? With sober judgment. I just want to share with you an article in a university magazine that gave helpful guidance to people trying to figure out their degree major. And when you're trying to figure that out, you guys are about to go to uni or in there and you think maybe I should tweak this and change that. It is said that if you graduate with a science degree, you normally ask questions like, why does this work? If you graduate with an engineering degree, you ask questions like, how does this work? If you graduate with an accounting degree, you ask, how much does this cost? If you graduate with a liberal arts degree, you ask, would you like fries with that? That is so naughty, isn't it? Do something, if you're going to go to uni, do something worthwhile. And I want to say, I think our shape class will put you in a position to ask better questions than that. I've said to you before, there's in your newsletter, there's a list of gifts there, and we're not going to really put too much of that this morning. It's for you to take home, because in Romans 12, there's a sample list. And here's a whole lot that flow out of Romans 12, 1 Corinthians 12, Ephesians 4, 1 Peter 4, and other places where they are listed. But there it is, and it's give you some, it defines some definitions with some of those, so that's your list there. I'm going to go through these, are in Romans 12. Romans 12:6. If your gift is prophesying, then prophesy in accordance with your faith. Now, I just want to say this about prophesying. Prophesying isn't so much about telling the future. I know a lot of folks think that, well, I've got a prophet, and he's going to be able to say what's going to happen tomorrow and what's going to happen on Tuesday. I know what's going to happen, the building's going to start up. You're all thinking of the horse. Because you're going to be in the work and you know, you'll put in your tips in the tipping contest. And well, no, it's not about that. Prophesying isn't so much about telling the future as it is about bringing God's truth to bear upon providing guidance for an individual or for people or for a church. It's a call to change. It's a call to action. It's a call to head in a new direction. It's guidance based on the very Word of God. And some people have that gift in this church. I know some people do. I've seen them utilize it. Romans 12:7. If a person's gift is serving, let him serve. So I want the prophesying. That one sounds much more spectacular than serving. And your translation may even downgrade it a bit by calling it helps. And it is the gift of helps. The people with this gift, whether it's called gift of serving or gift of helps, they just love doing behind the scenes stuff. They don't want the microphone or the spotlight or the platform. They don't want to be seen at all. They just want to do stuff. And it's such a valuable gift, the gift of helps or service, in supporting a ministry project, and God knows we have loads of those going on, or making the Sunday service or an event run smoothly and excellently to God's glory. Romans 12:7. If a person's gift is teaching, let that person teach. And I just want to say this about the teaching. We need to understand what it is and how it's applied. It's a supernatural gift of teaching. It's the ability to understand and clearly explain and apply truths that flow from here. And some folk have got that gift. They just open this up and they're able to put it all together and teach people from that and make it make sense to others. And they say, wow, that makes sense. I tried to read that before and never made. Now that's so clearly because you taught it to me and you've given me tools to align myself with God's purposes. Thank you for teaching me this stuff, you know. Now, different people can have different measures of the same gift, whatever that gift might be. Different measure. Well, some people with this gift of teaching, they will have direct application to teaching children, Pastor Bron. So, if you do and you find that out, you need to get on Pastor Bron's team and teach kids. For others, it will have a direct application to teaching a small group of adults. What kind of group would that be, Pastor Les? Oh, that would be a connect group. And that heads went down right then. Some heads went down. That's called neuro-linguistics, because you know you've got it, but you don't want to step up to the plate just now. So you look down. Well, I saw you look down, you gave yourself away. Well, you should look up and smile. Different measures, yet for others to teach, it will be to teach large groups of 50, 100, 1,000, 10,000. And that's okay, there's no pressure there, because that's just what they're wired to do. Different measures of the same gift. You think about it, let me apply this. Some people have the gift of fixing things. We love to have the fixers around. They can fix almost anything with limited material. Now, I just mentioned one here last night at the gathering. I'm talking about Kyle and Sarah. We endeavoured to honour them. And Kyle is a fixer, and he can fix things with almost nothing. I'm often looking for fixers, because a lot of people around me, including me, need things fixed. Thank you, Rob. And Rob's a fixer. And you think about fixers, some of the fixers are fixers with a capital F. You know, they big fixers. They've got in-depth fixing capacities. Other people are fixers with a little f. They can fix things sometimes if they've got the right tools, the right materials, and all the right environment. And that's okay. Because, see, it's the same with all the gifts. It's by measure. Same gifts. True of teaching, true of just about any gift you've got. It's in measure. Some people do it big. Some people do it small. It's all right, it's in measure. Romans 12:8. If a person's gift is encouraging, let him encourage. Think about this gift of encouragement. You know, the proverb says, you can be really, really happy first thing in the morning, but you may not make your neighbour happy with your happiness. You're singing loud in the bathroom, and you are totally happy, because you're the best singer out in the bathroom. The acoustics are just right for you. But it's going right through the bathroom window, right through to next door, where the guy's trying to get a little rest and peace, and he would like to close it down anytime soon. And you think you're being so encouraging. The person with the gift of encouragement is not only able to give encouragement, but able to foresee who needs encouragement. And those of you who've got the gift of encouragement, you need to work the crowd after this service, and you'll find someone. But just be careful, don't go up and say, what's wrong? Because they had nothing wrong until you came up. So Romans 12:8. If a person's gift is giving, let him give generously. Wait a minute. Isn't everyone, Pamela said everyone's supposed to give? And everyone's generous. What's going on here? What's happened here? Does that mean if someone's got the gift of giving, those of us who don't, we're let off the hook? No. Because the Bible says everyone's supposed to give. It's just that those who have the gift of giving, they make sure that they have the means and the motivation and the money and the method, and they just want to give generously, and you may never know who they are. Don't have to bang a drum about it, but all of us are called to give. All of us, hey, just think about this, all of us are called to evangelize. And that's not a nasty word, that means you share your faith. That means you tell someone you actually believe in God, that you've lined up a piece of church and His purposes, somehow or another. So we're all called to do that. But some folk actually have the gift of evangelism, and they don't even have to try. That's just what they do, it just comes out of them. They just come up and they don't offend anyone they don't. So, well, what do you do for the weekend? I went to church. Oh, didn't know you went to church? Well, see, I'm just in touch with God. And they don't have to think about it, work up a scheme to tell anyone about it. It just comes on out. Because they have the gift. And giving is like that. For the person with the gift of giving, they don't think, well, I wonder what I'm going to give now, and I'll do the math, crunch the numbers. They just give. And they just blow you away by how much they give. Just when we thought the ship was going to financially sink, up steps the person with the gift of giving, and the ship is afloat. Marvelously so, or generously so. So what about this one? Romans 12:8. If a person's gift is leadership, let him govern diligently. Question. Because a lot folk want to be leaders, when in fact the Bible talks more about followers. Jesus didn't call 12 guys to be leaders. In fact, they ended up being leaders, but they only were leaders because he called them to be followers first. Come follow me. So how do you know if you got this one? Well, how do you know if you got the ability to cast vision and motivate and build teams of people so that together they can build and advance God's purposes in his kingdom and put together the means and the facilities to make that happen? How do you know that if you've got it? How do you know if you've got it? Well, I like what John Maxwell says. He says, he who thinketh he leadeth, but hath no one following him, is merely taking a walk. Is there anyone following you? You would be leader. Not so. Looks like that's you're not a leader then, you know. Well, was it Gandhi that said, oh, there go my people, I must hurry up and catch them, for I am their leader. You know. Is there anyone following you?